Hello and welcome. This is Menopause Muse Talks, hosted by myself, Helen and Pat, and my lovely friend and colleague, Pat Taylor, who's also a nurse. I say that. Why do I do invert it? It's because I honour you as a nurse. Okay, so today we're going to do our lunch and learn talk, and we are talking about the symptoms of menopause. Now, I'm going to just say a couple of things first. You may not get any of these, or you may get all of these. We do not know, and there is no rhyme or reason why some people have certain symptoms and different symptoms to others. All we can absolutely guarantee you is that your perimenopausal journey is about the decline of estrogen in your body, and it's the decline of the estrogen that is the greatest impact. So your symptoms might be different in your late 40s to what they are in your, so 45, your symptoms might vary and they'll change again and again and again. So as estrogen leaves your body through your entire lifespan, so even beyond menopause, so you're now post-menopausal, your symptoms may change again. Okay, so what's the most common symptoms?
Hot flushes.
The hot flush.
The hot flushes, and that is just, it can be really awful, can't it? Night hot flushes, day hot flushes. It's terrible. Okay,
so here we've got a lovely list of, I'm going to say just some. It affects all symptoms, all areas of the body. So it affects your brain, your head, hair loss, your hormonal areas, why am I saying that? Thyroid, your skin could be drier, breast pain, skin changes around the breast, digestive problems, the list goes on. And then we're going to talk about the pelvic area, vaginal dryness, reduced libido, which is really important to understand, and we've got to have that conversation about reduced libido. Irregular periods, brittle nails, and osteoporosis, bones. So let's just do this bit first. So headaches. It's not just headaches. Some women may struggle with migraines. They may have had them as in puberty. Yeah. And now the migraines have come back, and now the migraines are not just migraines, but it can also be vestibular stuff, which means vertigo, dizziness, dizzy spells.
And sometimes they can get worse, can't they? If we know that if you've had headaches and symptoms as a teenager and you had it as PMT or part of your periods, then in menopause you can actually find that they come back again, they're exacerbated, and you go through all those symptoms again.
So another area, so we talk about confidence so much in all our work, but hair loss and hair thinning, both of this can have tremendous impact on women. And often, and this is directly related to the estrogen, but there's support out there now. There's more women talking about hair loss, and ironically, because we always talk about hair gain, don't we? As I touch my chin, and hair that grows out of strange parts of a woman's aging body. But equally, you can lose thinning hair from your head as well as your pubes. And I said that in a funny way. I did. Okay, so thyroid is one of the areas that is affected. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, can do. So thyroid, and you might not know that it's your thyroid that's causing you a problem. You might feel jittery or anxious. You might have weight gain and all of the other problems that go alongside thyroid problems. You might notice quite subtly until you think, put it all in together, and then you might realise that it is your thyroid. So those feelings of jitteriness and hyperactivity, maybe you might not be able to sleep, weight gain, etc. So it's worth considering. It's worth thinking about.
Well, it's weight gain, weight loss, temperature changes, hair loss. So you might be thinking this is it is a menopausal symptom, but actually a blood test might identify that you might be hypo or hyper thyroid issues. Okay, so I feel that we're just touching upon it. We don't want to go into a deep dive about it because we don't want you to start freaking out that, oh my God, you've got all of these. Remember, blood tests don't always show all the symptoms for everything that's going on, simply because you are still in a cycle, or you may be still in a cycle. So if you use your symptom tracker that we've recommended, you can download it from Louise Newson's site as well. And the symptom tracker that's on the Menopause Muse group, it will help you to identify some of these symptoms. And collectively, you've got a story, a picture that you're building to give to your GP for that additional support if you choose to go down the route of HRT. Okay, so skin changes, the texture changes. Did you see that? I scratch. Yeah, I have skin changes as a result of my menopause.
Yeah, my skin's really dry, and I've never had dry skin. I've actually had oily skin or combination skin on my face, and my skin on my body has been fine, but I am noticing dryness. So really trying to hydrate and moisturise every day. And
so hydrate and moisturise. Yeah. Hydrate through fluids.
Yeah, yeah.
And moisturise. Now talk to me about moisturising.
Well, I have all sorts of creams.
What was the advice around
about the moisturising creams? So I was on a webinar with some consultants, and the advice is don't spend like a lot of money on these really expensive high-end moisturising creams for your skin and your body. The traditional E45s, the emollients, the Diprobase type, I don't want to name names, but they are humectants and another kind I can't remember. But what happens is they trap the moisture in and they hold it there and they moisturise the skin. All of these high-end products will moisturise you, but only temporarily, whereas the other types will help you long term. And there's no need to spend a lot of money. Use those traditional emollient creams that you can just slather and plaster all over your body after a shower when you're a little bit damp. It holds that moisture in, and try to get in a really regular routine with your moisturising. Your skin will thank you for it, and also it's anti-aging. Yay! Which is always a good thing.
Yay! So moving on to digestive problems. You may be somebody who's never really had many digestive problems, or you might be somebody that has struggled with IBS or other digestive issues. Your digestion just changes. So it's not just changes. Your digestion can change as a result of your menopause. Be mindful of your diet. So our approach is always around the whole person. Think about what we know is the Mediterranean diet is probably the best diet for many. You know, colourful things that are picked off trees are pulled out of the ground. So we're encouraging you to eat well, to support your health as you move forward through your menopausal years.
I only just found out that lack of estrogen, or a lowered amount of estrogen in your body, can make gallbladder problems worse. And it's all to do with the motility, isn't it, I think, in the body, in the gastric system. So
do you remember they used to say gallbladders connected to fat 50 and female, and blonde, wasn't it? It was fair fat 50 female. And female, and it was because of menopause. But now now we can confirm some of the links. It just can't be a coincidence. There is science to say that. Okay, so now we're talking about menopause. Let's bring up this chart again. And I love this. We need to do this like bingo. Insomnia. And that is, insomnia can be waking up at certain hours and staying awake for a period of time. It's insomnia. Record how many hours you are sleeping. That's really good advice. Roll with it for a little while, because sometimes insomnia might settle again. Again, there are plenty of tips and tricks out there to help you with your sleep hygiene, so you can prep better going to sleep. And some people prefer a nap in the afternoon. Not everyone does, but insomnia, just really, you can't fix it all. Start there, just record your sleep and what that looks like and how that's making you feel. And that is really important to put that into your symptom tracker. irregular heartbeat. Should we just alternate? Your turn.
Yeah. So irregular heartbeat, and that is palpitations. You might be aware of your heart beating faster, slower, or differently. You might just get little beats that feel a bit odd, and you can really help to try and regulate that by thinking about what you're taking into your body. And we know that things like caffeine, alcohol, tea and hot chocolate will all act as a stimulant on your body and might cause your heart to beat irregularly. So if it continues after you've taken some of those out of your kind of daily routine, then it's definitely worth getting it checked out, because it can be quite worrying, and then that has another effect on your heart as well, because it becomes a vicious circle. So take out what you can from your body first, and then get it checked out.
The bladder can be affected with menopause. Frequent urination, so more thinking about weeing more. Now, I'm going to the subtleties of menopause. Here's another thought. Sometimes we go out and we worry about where we can have a wee, and especially post-pandemic, a lot of our old faithful coffee shops and restaurants might have been closed. So finding places to have a wee is important, but don't let that stop you. Don't let your wee locations stop you going out and about, because that is a subtle thing that can creep up, which will lead to loneliness, because many women will stop going out because they're worried about finding somewhere to wee. But it is a really common symptom, and you'd be surprised how many people are affected by their bladder.
So the next one is a UTI. What's a UTI? It's a urinary tract infection, so a wee infection. And you might typically feel that it stings when you need to wee, or you need to go and have a wee more often. You might have some urgency, so you need to rush to the loo. And you can really help yourself by drinking regularly throughout the day. Sometimes, you know, if you add some barley, that might be able to help, or cranberry juice. And don't not go to the toilet, and don't not drink at night because you might want to wee in the night. Please do keep drinking throughout the day, right up until bedtime, and if you have to get up, then that's fine. If it causes you a problem, you need to get it checked out. So that's UTIs.
Mental health plays a big part of your menopausal symptoms. Not for everybody. Just be mindful that low moods, anxiety, depression, there is a link around mental ill health. Everybody has mental health, but there's this sliding scale. So be vigilant with your mental well-being, and do things to bring you joy into your aging self, and look after yourself.
Then we come to mood swings. So you might find that you're swinging from maybe crying for no apparent reason at something really silly, and then being in a rage, and anywhere in between. So it's about, again, being mindful, making sure that you're looking after yourself, doing those things that really help to keep you steady. Maybe some mindfulness, some relaxation, go and have a massage, or go and have a spa or sauna, go swimming, sea swimming. Do those things that help you to be stable. But the most important thing is talk to your friends, your family, your colleagues about how you're feeling, that maybe it's not actually got anything to do with them, it's more you, and you're okay. You just have to go through it.
Yeah, and I think it's that general empathy as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so fatigue. Oh, I've missed one on the list. I got to talk about fatigue. Fatigue is different to feeling tired. It is overwhelmingly intense, exhausted. And when you're exhausted, you're less inclined to want to do the things that you normally do in life, like cooking food. You're so exhausted, you just simply can't be bothered. So be mindful of that. Fatigue, it's all linked to the decline of estrogen and other hormones. So just be mindful what fatigue feels like. Again, it becomes so weighted and heavy, it may stop you doing the things that you normally enjoy doing. So just be mindful around it and track it in your wellness tracker.
So we're going to go back up one, back to night sweats. So we did touch briefly. Night sweats obviously happen at night. What can you do about it? You can try and think about wearing cotton pyjamas or a vest top, pants. I was going to say don't wear anything in bed, but actually if you're sweating, that can be quite uncomfortable, can't it, when you're skin to skin. So really nice cotton and cotton bed sheets. Open the window, maybe have a fan. They can be a bit noisy, so get a quiet fan if you can. Open your windows, your doors, and again drink. Have some bed sheets next to you if you need to change the bed, and try to just manage it to the best of your ability. Try not to overanalyze it.
It's really common. It's one of the top symptoms. So don't freak out.
No, but it can be really distressing, can't it? But actually, you know, there is a solution. So, and there is help out there. So, yeah.
Memory lapses. When you start talking about memory lapses, you'll notice that all the people around you also have memory lapses. Don't freak yourself out. It is something that is fairly common as we all get older. Men and women have memory lapses, females in particular, particularly when we are losing our good hormones out of our body. But don't panic. It becomes a conversation piece. It becomes quite joyous if you can turn the negative into a positive with this one.
Then we come to dizziness, and that can be disorientating really. Maybe if you stand up and you feel dizzy, you can really take your time. And we always come back to, if you feel dizzy when you stand up, one of our favourite movements is pump your heels. Lift your heels one at a time, or squeeze your toes within your shoes, or just stand and squeeze. Take your time. If you're dizzy because of vision, maybe get your glasses checked. And just take care of yourself. Drink again, drinking water. Sometimes you're a bit lacking in some salt, so just be aware of that and just take your time.
It's quite common to gain weight during the menopausal years. With weight gain, so firstly, you're not alone. Secondly, it often sits around the middle of your body. So that's the next bit. We encourage you, as always, eat well, move more. I know it's hard, but it is sadly one of the symptoms. But if you're keeping active and you're staying strong, then we can manage that, okay? But it is quite a normal symptom of menopause.
Then we come to incontinence, and this can be really distressing, and it could come back down to a UTI. As we said earlier, incontinence can be rushing to the toilet, a little dribble every now and again, or a complete flood. So think about pelvic floor exercises. So, you know, do you need to work on those? And do you want to wear a pad just to help you to not be embarrassed when you're out and about? Again, there is help out there. You might have a prolapse, so it's worth getting checked out if it becomes a problem that goes on and doesn't rectify itself.
It's quite common for allergies to start, including asthma, as well as hay fever, as your two key ones, but also food intolerances can occur as a result of the decline of estrogen.
And burning tongue is a weird one. You can have that if you're low in iron, but just from menopause, it's really odd. It can feel really funny. And get it checked out. There are some little solutions that you can pop on your tongue to stop you having a dry mouth, for example. So something like that might help.
Your body odour may change. Many women record that it feels like it's changed. You smell different, but you know, you're getting older. What can we say? Embrace it. Work with it.
Difficulty concentrating. Wow, that's a really common one. You know, not remembering what you've just said a minute ago, a second ago. It's really awful. And when you're trying to hold down a job, maybe some of you have got really kind of important jobs that need you to concentrate and focus, it can be really difficult. But go easy on yourself, be kind, and again, tell the people around you what's going on. Write things down, record them so that you know you can come back to them, pop it in your diary. Lots of little tips to help you to come back to remembering them.
electric shock sensations, grabbing your tins of baked beans off your shelf in the supermarket, even just touching somebody else, you might get a shock. It's really common. Don't be surprised.
And gum problems. Make sure you can try to get a dental appointment if you can, maybe see the hygienist. Really great oral hygiene can help. Use mouthwash, floss every day if you can remember, and just look after your mouth.
Muscle tension. We talk about stress and life laundry. There is a strong correlation between life laundry stress and muscle tension. So, you know, part of your self-care, maybe book yourself a massage, or be conscious that you might be getting tight in your neck and shoulders or in your back. We hold tension there. It's not unusual. Just look after yourself.
And then the final one is bloating. So think about wearing loose clothing. Don't stop eating fibre. So eat more fibre, protein and carbs, and make sure you drink plenty again. Just don't worry about it too much. Try not to be too self-conscious about it. I'm sure you notice it more than others.
Now, what we know, so let's just park this symptoms for now. And what we know, it's not just about the estrogen. The important thing is that you are not alone with your symptoms. You may have a few, you may have a lot, or none at all. The point is, try and record it, because one of these symptoms on its own could be something completely different. But as a collective, you might need some more support around hormonal replacement therapy. So it's not always connected to estrogen. It may be progesterone or testosterone. But ultimately, this is your starting point for symptoms. If you need us, contact us through the Facebook Menopause Muse group. Equally, you can always talk to us at the I Care I Move offices. The number is 0800 0541 118, or you can email us on info@icareimove.com, and we really value some conversations with you and encourage you to talk about how you are feeling with your menopausal symptoms.